Welcome back guys to my GTA series. Now today I'm going to be going over the evolution of Grand Theft Auto as a series from where it all began in 1997 and all the way through the progress of the series to the current day. Now the amazing thing about the Grand Theft Auto series is it's never really suffered any fatigue of the franchise. They make some huge progress, they make some huge innovations with each title, and it's amazing to look back and see the actual progress the whole series has made since the beginning. If you guys are new to my channel, please take a second to leave the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Rockstar Games updates. So let's get started. In 1997 was the release of Grand Theft Auto 1, and this is where GTA all began. Now the first GTA game might look like a very basic top-down game today, however at the time this was actually a pioneer in the open world genre. This title also introduced three very well-known cities today: Liberty City based on New York City, Vice City based on Miami, Florida, and San Andreas based on the state of California. Also a fun fact is that when this game was in development, it was actually originally intended to be called Race and Chase. However, that was later cancelled and they went with a very iconic name, Grand Theft Auto. 2 years later, after the release of Grand Theft Auto 1, there was two expansions released: London 1969 and London 1961. These were two different expansions for the original Grand Theft Auto game and were actually the first ever standalone expansion packs to be released on the PlayStation 1. Now these expansions were pretty interesting for a few reasons. First of all, it's the first time a Grand Theft Auto game has been set in the 60s. It's the first time GTA has been set in a real city, so the game was set in London, which is obviously based on London in the United Kingdom. Usually Grand Theft Auto games always have fictional names such as Vice City, whereas this one was just called London. And not only that, but GTA London was also the only game in the whole Grand Theft Auto series to be set outside of the United States. Dan Houser, who is one of the co-founders of Rockstar Games, said in a later interview with The Guardian that his personal feelings is that Grand Theft Auto is America. GTA London was cool for the time, he said, but games were more limited then. So it's pretty unlikely we'll ever see another Grand Theft Auto game set outside of the USA. In 1999, Rockstar didn't only release those two expansions for Grand Theft Auto 1, but they also released Grand Theft Auto 2. This game was first released on PC, a month later it came to the PlayStation 1, and then the year after that it was released on the Dreamcast and even the Game Boy Color in the year 2000. Grand Theft Auto 2 was still a top-down game, however it did improve on quite a few aspects of the first game. It had better graphics, it had improved gameplay, and a better audio as well. This game also introduced side missions to the Grand Theft Auto series, so outside of the main story missions you could also do optional side missions and activities such as being a taxi driver or being a bus driver and earning some money on the side. And these side activities have actually become very iconic to Grand Theft Auto games since this title. Grand Theft Auto 3 was released in 2001, and this was a huge progress in the GTA series and took the game into the 3D era. I feel like most GTA players today kind of take for granted the third-person view that we have in open-world games, but this was pretty groundbreaking at the time back in 2001 and influenced many games to come after GTA 3. The game was set in Liberty City and you play as a character called Claude. Funnily enough, your character is a complete mute in this game and never speaks one word throughout the whole of the game, and his name Claude was only actually revealed in another future GTA game, GTA San Andreas. GTA 3 also introduced a few new gameplay features such as aerial travel and also hidden collectibles where you had to roam around the map and find 100 hidden packages. Rockstar also made some changes to Grand Theft Auto 3 after the 9/11 terrorist attack that happened in New York City just before the release of this game. And since this game is set in Liberty City, the fictional version of New York, Rockstar wanted to review the game's content to make sure it would be appropriate to release. So this resulted in Rockstar actually delaying the original release of Grand Theft Auto 3. They made some changes to the dialogue within the game, they cut certain content, I believe a mission was cut from the game that was deemed inappropriate following that attack. In the following year, 2002, saw the release of Vice City. I've said this in videos before, but this is my all-time favourite GTA game. This game just has so much charm to it, I absolutely love it. It's set in the iconic Miami in the 1980s, where you play as Tommy Vercetti, a former mob member. This game was just so visually appealing, it was bright, it was fun, it had very memorable characters who you meet through the story, and also a fantastic soundtrack with some classic songs from the 80s where this game was set. I think I'll always remember some of the songs from this game. Despite Vice City only being released 1 year after GTA 3, this game again offered a huge step up from its predecessor. Vice City had a huge city, it had indoor malls, it had different islands to visit, it had the ability to purchase businesses and properties throughout the world, you could generate passive income streams through your businesses, and gave you really a great feeling of power in the world. Vice City was released as a PlayStation 2 exclusive, but was later released the next year on PC and Xbox. Another close favourite GTA game of mine was GTA San Andreas, released in 2004, just 2 years after Vice City. It's quite interesting to see how short the development times were for Grand Theft Auto games compared with today. Let me know down in the comments what your favourite GTA game in the whole series is. I feel like a lot of people either prefer San Andreas or Vice City, but let me know what you guys like best in the comments. In San Andreas, we play as Carl Johnson, or CJ, who grows up in the hood and eventually becomes a co-leader of the Grove Street family gang. This game made some huge improvements from Vice City. We had a huge map that incorporated 3 different cities to explore. We had Los Santos based on Los Angeles, San Fierro based on San Francisco, and Las Venturas based on Las Vegas. The world was so big that Rockstar was able to introduce jets and trains into the game as travel options. The map was also split into different territories where you had to take out rival gangs to call the territory yours, and you could expand your power and influence of the Grove Street family. In this game, rival gangs could also invade your turf and require you to head over there and fend off gangsters, or you risk losing that plot of land. For the first time in the GTA series, we also had a stats system offering a kind of RPG style of gameplay where you can improve your protagonist's skills. So you could hit the gym to increase your strength and stamina, but you'd also actually lose muscle if you forget to eat and forget to visit the gym. In this game you could also eat a ton of fast food and become extremely fat, something I wish Rockstar would add in the next GTA game. Grand Theft Auto Advance was actually an exclusive to the Game Boy Advance and returned the bird's eye perspective in Liberty City. This game's setting was a prequel to Grand Theft Auto 3 set in the year previous to the events of GTA 3. This game was actually the first ever GTA game that was made exclusively for a handheld device, and in many ways probably hindered the game's development being made for this limited device. This game was also not even developed by Rockstar themselves, it was developed by a company called Digital Eclipse, and this was the only time in the whole Grand Theft Auto series that a game's development was actually outsourced in this way. In 2005, Rockstar released Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. This was the first 3D GTA game to make it to a handheld device. I actually bought a PlayStation Portable around this time just to play the GTA games, and generally had a lot of fun with these games. The game was later ported to the PlayStation 2. This game is based in Liberty City, and you play as a character called Tony Cipriani. However, this game did introduce a local multiplayer mode, which was actually the first ever GTA game to offer a multiplayer mode. The following year, in 2006, we also saw the next PSP game to be released was Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Again, I personally loved this game, I felt it was a very underrated GTA title. Gameplay wise, there was a lot more substance than the previous PSP title, Liberty City Stories, since in Vice City Stories we can swim, customize our outfits, you can take part in gang wars, grow your business empire. The business empire system was actually a really cool addition to this game, where you could take over properties and upgrade them into your illegal businesses. Again, this game was released exclusively on the PlayStation Portable, but was later ported to the PlayStation 2. In 2008, we had Grand Theft Auto 4. This game was the first addition into a new era of Grand Theft Auto games known as the HD universe. In this game, we play as Nico Bellic, who's an immigrant who travels to Liberty City, based on New York City, to escape his past in search of the American dream. I personally really enjoyed this game, however it wasn't for everybody. It had a very serious tone, it had a very dark and grey aesthetic compared to some of the previous titles like Vice City and San Andreas, which were really bright and fun in comparison. GTA 4 introduced more player choices when it came to how the missions played out. There were quite a few moral choices you had to choose as a player, when to make in this game. You know, how far do you want to pursue money? Do you risk a loved one in order to pursue that money? So we have to make a lot of these decisions through the game. GTA 4 also saw 2 different DLC expansion packs. There was the Lost and Damned, and also the Ballad of Gay Tony. Both of these were probably the best DLCs I've ever purchased for a video game, and definitely gave a much different tone and experience from the base game. In 2009, Rockstar returned to the top-down era in Chinatown Wars. This one was based in Liberty City. It was originally released on the Nintendo DS, and then later came to PlayStation Portable, and also iPhone and Android devices. The game had a big focus on drug dealing, where you could grow your business and make a profit by selling drugs, basically. Chinatown Wars also added some exclusive gameplay features into the Nintendo DS version, such as using the touchscreen and being able to whistle into the mic for a taxi. The game was actually received very well. Chinatown Wars is currently the best reviewed Nintendo DS game and the second best reviewed PlayStation Portable video game on Metacritic. I don't know about you guys, but seeing this gameplay again made me kind of miss my Nintendo DS. In 2013, Rockstar released Grand Theft Auto 5, and this game has been an absolute behemoth of a game in many aspects. It's the biggest and most detailed world Rockstar have ever created in a video game. Although it's not everybody's cup of tea, the choice to switch between 3 playable characters was introduced to the story, and even within missions you can switch between these 3 characters. The single player follows the story of Michael, Trevor and Franklin, who are 3 very different characters whose stories intertwine. Grand Theft Auto 5 is about to hit 100 million copies sold, making it one of the highest selling video games in history. It was also reported that the title has seemingly made more money than any other entertainment product, so more than any other film, book or game, generating approximately $6 billion in revenue. Grand Theft Auto Online was released just a few weeks after GTA 5, and it only seems appropriate to list it as a separate entity on this list. Even 5 years after its release, Grand Theft Auto 5 has continued to be in the best-selling video game charts in most countries, and it is thanks to GTA Online. Rockstar has delivered regular free updates to the game over the past 5 years, offering new missions, new vehicles, weapons, clothing, activities to keep players engaged and coming back. My personal favourite DLC update still has to be Heist, where you team up with other players, and it requires a great deal of teamwork to successfully complete a series of setup missions and then take on the grand heist finale. Rockstar did originally announce there would be a single player DLC released the year after Grand Theft Auto 5, however Rockstar did not mention this since. It's clear their focus has shifted from a single player DLC into making that DLC content for online. There's also been several leakers confirm that the single player DLC has been scrapped, and certain components of it have actually been used for online updates. Before we end this video, we'll just touch on the next Grand Theft Auto game, which for now we'll call Grand Theft Auto Next. Now Rockstar have not officially confirmed the existence of a GTA game, however there have been quite a few rumours hinting at some early development starting of the next GTA title in the franchise. And if you guys think that a game that sold over 100 million copies won't have a sequel, you'd have to be crazy. If you guys are new to my channel, I do cover all of the latest Rockstar Games news, updates and rumours, so be sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. I'll keep you guys up to date with all of the future updates, so don't miss out. Have a great day guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Dodging missiles, dodging bullets, coming at me now, tell me to bullet. I'm a G, DOA, silent core in GTA.